You're listening to the Paul Young Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We're at the saga of Bradley Jersak in the movie. I think this is part 4. If you hear any music in the background, it's because we have a couple grandkids that are helping Kim in the garden. It's 30 feet from the office where we're making the podcast. But, a little music. That's good. So last we left, I got the call sheet saying, you get to go to Cultus Lake, the set at Cultus Lake, where Brad and Lori and Dwight and Eden are. So in the morning, I'm being driven up to Cultus Lake, and I'm texting Brad, I'm on my way up to Cultus Lake. And he's texting back going, just tell us, I'll come down and get you from the set. And then we can spend maybe even 10 minutes with Dwight and Lori, and it would help. I think it would help, he says. So I arrive at the set, and over in a little huddle is Gil, the producer, and his wife, Lonnie. They were co-producing. And Stuart Hazeldine, who's the director, who I got to know and has become a friend. They were chatting about something. So I walk over to the Trinity, the three of them, and they give me hugs and all that. I say, hey, is there any possibility? I have these 4 friends. Is there any possibility? I don't tell them what the situation is. Is there any possibility that they could come on set for the day? And immediately they're like, of course, that would be great. And so I text Bradley and I say, look, you're invited to come on set for the day. You want to do it? And he's like, we'll be down there in 10 minutes. The reason that Lionsgate and Gil Netter and his wife Lonnie wanted me to come was because this is where they had built the shack. There was this piece of property that was privately owned, had been donated to the province to become a provincial park. But that wasn't going to happen for a year. It just sat there for a year between when the province took it over and when the private ownership ended. And Lionsgate, Netter Productions got permission to use it for the shack. And so it was a big piece of property. And this is where they built everything. They built the shack, the destroyed shack. They built the refurbished shack. And so a lot of things. This is right on the lake where they shot the film. Parts where the kids were out in the canoe, where Kate was waving and it ended up flipping the canoe over. Anyway, a lot of the movie was shot right at this place. And they wanted me to see it. In the scenes that I watched, the shack was all restored. But there was a problem. When you are shooting outdoor scenes, and that's what they were doing, they were going to shoot this one outdoor scene all morning long. They were going to shoot another outdoor scene in the afternoon. And then they were going to shoot an evening scene during the evening. But the problem is that you can't get close to it. You can't interfere with the sound, and they're wearing, their microphones hidden and all that kind of stuff. But as an observer, you have to be way back away, so you can't hear what's going on, and you can't see exactly what's happening. Well, they have this thing called Video Village. It's a tent, and inside that tent is where the producer and the director, they're sitting, and they have big screens of what the cameras are actually shooting, and they have headphones so they can hear the sound. So in the morning, they're going to shoot this one scene over and over and over and over until they've got enough shot sequences that they can later edit down and pick the best ones, the best camera angle, all of these things. And that's what's going to end up in the film. So they'll shoot one scene all morning, take a break for lunch, shoot one scene all afternoon multiple times, take a break for supper, and then the evening scenes. So I walk down to where Brad, Eden, and Lori and Dwight are walking up, because their place was probably 150, 200 yards away from the set. So here they come, and there was a little board that crossed this little creek, and they had to step on the board and come across, and I met them on the set side of that little board. And each one of them, Eden, and then Bradley, and then Dwight, and then Lori, I hugged. When I hugged Lori, I could sense all the turmoil that had risen inside of her. She did not want to be there. And later I found out that it was because of both Bradley and her therapist who said, this is so special. This is the therapist. You should take it seriously and you should pursue this. So that was the reason she was there, but she didn't want to be there. And when I hugged her, I didn't let go. And if you know me, there are those times where you've seen me where I hug somebody and I don't let go. And usually there's some kind of a reason that I'm sensing. And I didn't let her go, not immediately. And I could feel her just filled with this turmoil. And then I felt something just switch a little bit. And it was enough to stop hugging her. But she didn't really look me in the face very much. So we all came over. Now here's a beautiful thing. When they found out that my friends were coming, they immediately put 5 chairs in Video Village. In fact, the 5 chairs were inside this tent, probably 20 feet from where they were, the scene that they were shooting. And each of the chairs had a headset connected to it. And the screens were right in front of us so that we could see what was actually being shot. And so we still have no clue what is going to be shot. We don't know what the scene is. They didn't tell me, nothing. All we know is that there is a scene being shot on the back patio of the shack, and we're going to watch it being shot from the best possible place. I'm on one end, Bradley's on the other end. Next to me is Lori, then Dwight, Eden. We don't know what's going to be shot, and we'll pick this up on the next episode of the saga. Thank you for listening. If you would like to contact or connect with us with inquiries and questions, comments, suggestions, stories, and more, please visit paulyoungpodcast.com. There you will find resources and notes related to any particular episode. Today, participate with love, do the next right thing, and trust the ripples.